The O'Reilly Factor is on tonight.
We saw an opportunity and we seized it, and I make no apologies for that.
President Obama remaining defiant in the face of withering criticism for his deal with the Taliban. And now poll results are in. They are not good news for Mr. Obama.
Bill O'Reilly, the most dangerous thing that guy's ever done is walk across the street in New York to buy a burger.
Let the personal attacks begin. That guy knows nothing about me, but resents the fact that I have criticized certain aspects of the Taliban deal. We'll discuss it tonight.
You had a guy who repeatedly raped a 14-year-old girl, and you gave him just 30 days in jail? Can you explain that, please?
Also ahead, the Montana judge who gave a child rapist 30 days in jail is punished by the state. Megyn Kelly with an update. Caution, you are about to enter the no-spin zone. The Factor begins right now. Hi, I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thanks for watching us tonight. The blowback on President Obama over the Taliban deal. That is the subject of this evening's Talking Points memo. As the president gets set to mark the 70th anniversary of the D-Day invasion in France tomorrow, he's under withering fire here at home. The deal he made to trade one captive American, Sergeant Bo Berdal, for 5 Taliban war criminals has raised questions about his judgment and leadership. However, the president remains defiant.
We have a basic principle. We do not leave anybody wearing the American uniform behind. We had a prisoner of war whose health had deteriorated, and we were deeply concerned about it, and we saw an opportunity and we seized it, and I make no apologies for that.
Now, a brand new Fox News poll delivers some bad news to Mr. Obama. When asked if you approve or disapprove of the Taliban swap, 45% approve, 47% disapprove. However, when asked if you are concerned that negotiation with terror groups will encourage those groups to take more soldiers hostage, 57% say they are very concerned, 27% somewhat concerned, 7% not very, 8% not at all. Next question, do you think the Obama administration has made America stronger or weaker? 35% stronger, 55% weaker. Poll continues. Do you think the Obama administration is more or less competent than the George W. Bush administration? More competent, 42%, less competent, 48%. And finally, do you approve or disapprove of the job Barack Obama is doing as president? 40% approve, 54% disapprove. Those are bad numbers, no question. So the spin begins. The president's acolytes in the media are saying it's simple prisoner of war swap. That happens in every conflict. But that is fallacious. The 5 men released from Gitmo are war criminals, brutal men who target civilians. How bad is the Taliban? Listen up. June 2013, the terrorist group beheaded a 10-year-old boy and a 16-year-old boy on charges they were spies. April 2013, the Taliban amputated a hand and foot of 2 private security guards because they associated with foreign troops. October 2012, the Taliban shoots and nearly kills a 15-year-old Pakistani girl because she supports education for women. August 2012, Taliban killers behead 17 people, including 2 women, for attending a mixed-gender party. I could go on and on. The atrocities never end with this crew. The Taliban is not a legitimate nation or a legitimate army. They're terrorists. They torture and kill civilians. Are we all getting this? You don't free 5 war criminals, even if the life of an American soldier is on the line. Talking Points understands honest people disagree with that statement. But if you want to win the war on terror, you simply cannot appear weak. An interesting aside, the Daily Beast website reporting that Hillary Clinton did not want to release the 5 Taliban killers in past negotiations. Gee, I wonder who leaked that today. And many Democratic politicians are running now, running away from the Obama administration. One final note. As we will demonstrate once again on The Factor tonight, Sergeant Berdal and his father appear to be Taliban sympathizers. At least they were at one time. That's what the evidence says. And in light of what the Taliban really is, That's troubling. However, and this is important, Talking Points believes that Sergeant Bergdahl and his father should be given the benefit of every doubt. But when there is no doubt, judgments have to be made. As for President Obama, the initial judgment is in. Public opinion has turned against him big time. And that's the memo. Now for the top story tonight, reaction. Joining us from Paris, Fox News Chief White House correspondent Ed Henry is traveling with the president. It's 2 a.m. in Paris. Does President Obama know?
Anything for you.
Does he know what kind of trouble he is in?
I think they're denying it somewhat because if you look at the president's remarks today at the news conference, second time in a week where he was pressed on this, he wants to talk about Ukraine and other stuff, and he keeps getting pulled back into it by the U.S. press because of the firestorm back home. And he's been very dismissive of it. Today, he said, look, I'm not surprised that this kind of controversy is whipped up in Washington. It's sort of this same old politics as usual. His aides are telling Politico that this is just Obama haters whipping this up. That's not true. When you compare it to, say, Benghazi, IRS, where it did go along partisan lines, rightly or wrongly, in this case, following very closely after the VA scandal, I would note, there has been bipartisan outrage. You've had Dianne Feinstein, a very senior Democrat who runs the Intelligence Committee, saying she should have been notified about this prisoner swap, and she flat out said, Bill, that the law may have been broken. That's a problem. This is not just some partisan charade.
All right. But again, do you think the man understands? All right. Because this is bigger than the VA. It's bigger than the VA. It may not be as important as the VA. I mean, they're both important. But this is huge. Right. This is.
People died in that one.
Yeah, but people died here too, Ed.
Yeah.
Soldiers searching for Sergeant Bergdahl died. And we're going to hear, the full story. And there's two deficits for the president still to come. Number one, there's a classified report about Bergdahl, about exactly what he did. That should be unclassified now that he's back in the USA. And the second thing is the doctors examining the sergeant are going to have to tell the world if he was really that ill. And it doesn't look to me like he is. So you got two more shoes that are about to drop.
Yeah. Yeah, and the White House is using this video they've been showing lawmakers in both parties, suggesting that his health was deteriorating, as the president said at the news conference today. But remember, that video is from 6 months ago. It's not from a week ago. And so we don't know what happened in the last 6 months. To be fair, maybe his health got worse over the last 6 months. We just don't know. We have to get that intelligence. But that's all. The doctors will say, but that's all the more reason why Susan Rice shouldn't have gone on that Sunday show saying he served with honor and distinction. Because I don't know all the facts, you don't know all the facts, and clearly she doesn't know all the facts because it appears anyway, because I don't know for sure, but it appears he did not serve with honor and distinction.
All right. You know, you're a lucky guy, Henry, because every American should get to visit Normandy. I've been there a couple of times. It's just an amazing experience. You're going to go down tomorrow, and, it really, everybody should understand what happened there. And I guess Putin's going to be there,
I was there 5 years ago with President Obama. Yep, Putin. They might shake hands. We'll see. They're going to be at the same ceremony. I was there 5 years ago with President Obama, seeing all those crosses in the American cemetery, all those Americans who went to their deaths to save our way of life. It is, you could say it's moving, but when you're actually there, it really is. And I'm going to be getting on a bus that's going to go about 4 hours. But how could I complain about a bus ride when these folks gave their lives? It's unbelievable.
Yeah, and you'll probably get some croissants, too. And all kinds of little French
Maybe
stuff.
I'll get a beret, too. I want a beret that matches the pocket square.
I think that would be a very good investment, Henry. I mean, I think so. All right, Ed Henry, everybody. Next on the rundown, Secretary of Defense Chuck Hagel says he does not know of any American soldiers killed while searching for Sergeant Bergdahl. Some are outraged by that statement. Colonel David Hunt up next.